Welcome, welcome. Come on in and take your favorite chair. It's Thursday, July 24th. This is an open door, and this is a gathering called Finding the Advaita, or the Non-Dual in A Course in Miracles. And today we are going to look at Chapter 5, Section 10. I will put that into the chat. I'll put that in so everyone knows where we are. Did folks get a chance to read it? Did anybody get a chance to read it? Oh, good. Most people did. Excellent. Okay. Page 227. Good. So I have some notes on it, but before we get started, let's just let go of the day. And you could keep your camera on or off. It's up to you. But let's just get comfortable in the chair or on the treadmill, as the case may be. Just give yourself permission to sink into the present moment. And open yourself up to whatever it offers you right now. And gently just make the decision to be open and to allow, to receive. Be happy with yourself. Know yourself welcome here. The impulse comes together. The quality of how we are together, how we talk, how we listen, how we share, how we receive, and how we give. This is our gift to the world. The purpose of every gathering is discovered in the gathering, now and now and now. We recognize beauty and we love what is beautiful. Allow conversation to arise as it will out of every particle. It is all alive. Welcome to this empty table, a cleared place where something new can happen. When you take the hands of someone you love, what do those hands become? So let us take each other's hands across time and space now. And let's dig into this reading together. I'm going to summarize it pretty quickly and then open it up for discussion and experience. Most of you have read it, so perhaps you have notes that you've taken that you'd like to share. Feel free, because we are all each other's teachers. So we begin. This section speaks to healing and to healers. It's called The Decision for God. When I first read the title, I, of course, said, well, who's deciding? Which we can get to in a little bit. But that's the title, and there's a lot more in it than just who's deciding. So this section is speaking to Helen and to Bill and to others who have the impulse to heal, who want to heal, whose desire is to help with healing. And the first condition to truly heal others is to see the patient, in Helen and Bill's case, or to see the other as oneself without any separation. And the second condition is to truly heal others, is to know what the goal of healing is. What is the goal of healing itself? And it's really simple. It's to return the other, in Helen and Bill's case, the patient, to the knowing of their own wholeness, their own oneness with the creative source. And what a gift to be able to share with another who is in need at the moment the knowing of their own holiness. That is a special, special gift. And in this section, it actually tells Helen and the whole field of psychotherapy that only wholeness is truly sane. Nothing else is sane but the recognition of at-one-ment. That must have set them back a bit. You can see why they did this work in the early hours of the morning without involving anyone else. And the third condition sets a major condition for healing, which is that the cure isn't only for the patient. The healer must know herself, himself as one. They must live it. They must know it. So in the moment when the healing opportunity arises, the healer must be open to their own oneness and not set any conditions. The healer has to accept atonement or at-one-ment first, and only then can healing be shared. This is what's meant by physician, heal thyself. Okay. So we see this, if you look at paragraph 1, sentence 3, it says, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Paragraph 1, sentence 5. Sentence 5. So the healer, he or she, has not learned that every mind that God created is equally worthy of being healed. And then this is underlined, because God created it whole, right? Most healers don't get that. And certainly most healers that Helen and Bill associated with would not have understand that. And many healers, as it says in the first sentence, there have been many healers who did not heal themselves. So how many healers have you been to, if you've been to some alternative healers, where you're aware that that healer has tried to open themselves up to guidance and kind of remove the barriers to their connection with their higher self or their source or whatever it is that they're connecting with? But have they consciously communicated that they recognize that you are already open as well, and that you and they are one? I think that is probably rarer, more rare. So that the healer has to see that the atonement is true for everyone involved, but it's not done via the personal mind. So our part is to see that the atonement is true, and then the rest unfolds for us, with us, and as us. And you can see this in paragraph 4, section 1, or sentence 1. And this is a really important paragraph, and I'd love it if we talked about this. You have not been asked to work out the plan of salvation yourself, because as I told you before, the remedy for what you have made is not of your own making. So we go to a traditional healer, or we go to a healer that's a non-traditional healer, and they feel responsible for the healing. We pay a physician to heal us, with the expectation that, with that reciprocity, that they're going to do their job, right? And we get upset with them if they don't. But that whole relationship is transactional, and it doesn't include the wisdom that no one heals anyone. No personal mind heals another personal mind. You've not been asked to work out the plan for salvation yourself, because the remedy for what you have made isn't of your own making. So what do we do when we need healing? How do we look at this? Just a question, food for thought. So then paragraph 5, this is such a non-dual paragraph. And I'm looking here at sentence 3. The one more thing that you must learn is merely that you are not the one more. You are not the one more. You are both one and at one. You are both one and at one. All the time. Now, now, now. If you will learn this now, you underline.
All right, so that's Amy, right? I'm never sure if it's me or the other. Amy, if you can hear us. I wonder if she knows yet. Hmm. Ah, she does. Well, we're waiting for her to come back. This is my friend Beth. Hi, Beth.
Hello. Thank you for letting me
Let's
be
see
here
if
with.
let me see if she's coming back. Are you going to be able to come back? All right. Oh, do you have Wi-Fi? Do you have cellular on your phone? Well, then you can come in on your phone. You want me to drop the direct link in a text so you could just click on it? Okay, I'll do that now. Ah. We're gonna get her back because how can we do this class without her, right? So, um, in the meantime, has anyone not heard my story about this chapter? So, back in the days where I was in Living in Purpose, this is not where I want to be, um, which is before most of your time. Um, we would have these live classes twice a week, and every other week it would be Bill and Lisa one week, and then it would be Linda Leland and the woman before she changed her name to Freedom Cartwright. I can't remember what her name was. They would lead these phone calls. We weren't even on Zoom then. We were on calls. And oh, that's Amy again. Yes. No, that's because I'm talking and doing this at the same time. You'll get a text now. Okay. You should have a text now. And we're here waiting for you. All right. Bye. All right. We'll see you in a moment. Um, and they quoted these last 5 lines from the end of this chapter. I must have made it. How does it go? I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. I made the decision myself, but I could decide otherwise. I will to decide otherwise because I want to be at peace. I do not feel guilty because it's this line. I do not feel guilty because the Holy Spirit will undo all the consequences of my wrong decision if I will let him. I will to let him by allowing him to decide for God for me. This idea that my past could be undone freaked me out, but I also knew it was right. My whole inside just went. It wasn't a Kundalini search, Shannon, but it was this whole like crazy, oh my God, this is all I ever need. And almost immediately I forgot the 5 lines. I couldn't find the audio again. I couldn't figure out where it was in the book, but I knew there was something in the book. It took me 6, 7, 8 months, and then I found it again. I was like, there it is. And then I lost it for like 2 years. And then I was somewhere else at Awakening Together, and I found it like it was going on and off for years. Like, these are the 5 lines that are going to change my life. And the ego kept pointing it out. And finally, I remembered where in the book it was. And once I remembered where in the book it was able to keep coming back to me. And now I have it memorized. And now it took from 2018 till sometime last year before I could remember the words. Because the idea of undoing the past was so beautiful to me. And so like the ego just could not handle the idea that I wasn't guilty. And it just kept like I couldn't remember where in the book. I searched. I even I was calling all my Course in Miracles experts saying, you know, that prayer in the Course that says that the Holy, and nobody would help me. So that's my, see, I was entertaining everybody, Amy, while you were
It
gone.
sure
Now you're
sounds
back.
like it. Wow. So recap for me. I apologize. My internet went out. It just,
Oh, well, the real short story is I first heard these last 5 lines in this chapter in my early days with Lisa and Bill in 2018. And they sent a shockwave through my system. The idea that there is an energy that can undo my past and that there's no guilt. Somehow I knew it was true, but the resistance was so strong in my system that I kept forgetting the prayer. And it would drive me crazy. Like I learned it, I wrote it down, I lost the paper, it came back, I couldn't remember where in the book. I went through a period of a couple of months where every person I knew who knew A Course in Miracles, I was working for Lisa and Bill. Lisa couldn't figure out what I was asking. And then I'd find it again. This went on for years. That's how I knew these 5 lines were so precious to me. And finally, I got around the ego's resistance by being able to remember where in the book it was. So I couldn't remember the prayer, but I could remember that it was the end of chapter 5. And after that, it started penetrating. And now I just know the prayer. But it took years and years. So
guilt is a really, really powerful thing. I think the thing that I really like about the direct path is when you understand non-duality, it becomes very clear that guilt it's impossible. It doesn't mean that we don't still feel it and we don't still confront it. It still rises up because it's part of this world. And the world takes every opportunity to reinforce itself. And guilt is a major motivator for civilization. And so to deny guilt is, for some people, that's really an affront. But that's why I like this paragraph 3, sentence 3. The one more thing that you must learn is merely that you are not the one more. I mean, how much more clear can you get than that?
I just dropped a quote from Gary Zukav from this morning that we were talking about, because that pointing just lit up that teaching from Gary in Genesis. You know, you are all that is. There is no other. There is one, and all is that.
Yeah.
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 All right, I'm muting myself again.
No, that's good. That's good. So the next thing that stood out to me was in paragraph 6, and it's sentence 5. Let me remind you that to whatever extent you separate yourself from others, you're separating yourself from me. Right? And that is where so much guilt arises, is when we separate ourselves from others and judge. Right? And remember, this is all about healing, right? This whole chapter is it's about healing. It's about making the decision. And so healing cannot come when I feel separate from the one I'm trying to assist. It may come intellectually. It may come because I can see that there's a germ in the body and I'm healing the body, but it's not true healing. So the other thing that that really got to me was paragraph 7. And this is an interesting one. And I kind of had, like Cindy, I had some trouble with this. I'm just going to read the paragraph a little bit. It says, but let me first remind you of something I told you myself. Whenever you are not wholly joyous, it's because you've reacted with a lack of love to some brother that God created or sister. So I went around for a while when I first read this thinking, well, if I'm not wholly joyous, and I'm not wholly joyous all the time, then what have I separated myself from? And boy, the egoic mind really would get into, what have I done? What did I do in the past? What happened earlier today? How did I think I was separate? And I would go into really seeking to try to find what was the origin of that separation. But then it says, perceiving this as a sin or as separation, you become defensive because you expect attack. And the decision to react in that way, however, is yours and can therefore be undone. So it's not necessarily that I'm not joyous because I've reacted with love. It could be that I'm not joyous because I don't feel safe. Right? And I don't feel safe because I don't see myself as one. I perceive myself as separate. And whenever you perceive yourself as separate, you're vulnerable to attack. And that itself is an attack. Right? So then it says, so you realize that. So the decision to react in that way is yours and it can be undone. Therefore, it cannot be undone by repentance in the usual sense because this implies guilt. And this is the whole thing about the word atonement. I love the word atonement, but not in the traditional sense. It's at one-ment, right? It really is at one-ment. There's nothing to atone for. And this next sentence, if you allow yourself to feel guilty, you will reinforce the error rather than allowing it to be undone for you. So I don't undo my own guilt. I cannot think my way out of undoing my own guilt, no matter how much I study A Course in Miracles. I can't think my way out of it. Right? It's undone for me in the same, by that same intelligence in which all thoughts arise, by the same intelligence that created all of the seemingly separate selves, which is really just the manyness of the one, right? All the beautiful, individuated, gorgeous, seeming fragments that are each whole within themselves and whole at the same time. If we go back to the sentence, there's one more thing you must learn. You must learn is merely that you are not the one more. So the atonement isn't composed of many separate fragments. And that's a tough one for a lot of people. It's not. Everything is one in source. And when we recognize and we are in flow with the oneness that we are, it opens us to the oneness with everyone else. So our knowing of the atonement of the oneness comes through the recognition that we are that oneness. And then Cindy, and then we're gonna go to paragraph 8, but Cindy and then Mel.
It was just a placeholder. You can finish if you want. I was just placeholder relative to this idea of being an unhealed healer.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose my train of thought. My teachers, other than the course, right? Joel Goldsmith insists that you never heal anyone. And, I really love his teaching. His entire teaching relative to healing is to empty one's mind. So the moment you think you're helping somebody else, you're not in the infinite way. Really, really valuable teaching is this understanding that there's only one, so that the moment we're in the practice of helping others, we've missed the point, from that standpoint. The guides too, like I've heard Joel over, Joel, I've heard Paul and the guides over and over and over again. They don't care what we do in human form. But I continually hear the teaching that this is not about making this a vocation. And there's an edge to all the conversation about wanting to use these teachings to help others. And they continually squash it. And I've been just sitting with this understanding, and just in my own life, right? The more I commit to the practice of getting still and emptying, because I'm a good student of the infinite way, and opening and being more and more the light, the more these interactions with others occur, and it's as if, the light brings to you all that you can do to help, the consciousness rise up. But just the moment you think you're in the job of helping others, you're not in this teaching. And so it's important for me to continually say that out loud and remind myself of that over and over and over again. So
Yeah,
that's,
and I think that's a really good reminder. And this section really does say that right up front. I mean, the first thing is to understand that you're one with the person that is in front of you. And the thing is, at this level, I'm not going to ignore that there are levels of awakening. In truth, it's all one. There's only one, and that's ultimate reality. But we all fall asleep and we wake up, and we fall asleep and we wake up. And if someone comes to you for healing because they're in pain and they're suffering, then you don't say to them, you're already one. There's nothing to do. You're already one. So go away and recognize that you're one and you'll be healed. No, no, it's to love them as one with yourself, and to it's
yeah. So if I can just, again, the teachers that I love, right? Byron Katie says if someone comes to her crying and in pain, she hugs them. Paul, Paul and the guides say if your neighbor knocks on your door and they're hungry, feed them. And Joel never promoted his work, and he never turned anybody away, and he never asked for money. So all of these teachers who are in my kind of purview, who I adore, of high vibration, literally say yes to every opportunity to love everything that's in front of them.
yeah.
That's what love does, right? So the moment we say you're not a body, get over yourself, you're not in this teaching. Yeah. So
Yes, yes. And it's also the recognition that in the healing, you will be further healed. Mel, come to the head of the table.
Cindy said it much better than I can, but I was going to kind of pretty much say the same thing. Only that there's a recognition that there's really nothing to heal because we are already one. Now that, if you say that, people can't recognize that, but it starts from us, from this recognition of that we're all connected. So it's self-recognizing itself as not needing healing. It's already whole and complete. So that was all.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I can remember David Hawkins, there's a story in his first book about taking the hand of a psychiatric patient and just loving them and knowing that they were one with him and just loving them, not really even saying anything. And that was the healing. That was what they needed.
Beautiful.
It
Thanks.
is beautiful. It really is. So love expresses itself. The whole non-dual teaching that no one needs to be healed is not transmitted through language, really. It doesn't need to be. I mean, it certainly can be, but it's in that knowing and in that love, which is the vehicle through which the knowing flows. It's really amazing. Monique.
Thank you, Amy. I just want to say one thing. The
Yes.
whole thing that came into my mind while you were teaching and um, um, everybody was teaching, it's, let me hold it a minute. I always had that. Whew. What came into my mind was the title of this book. It says A Course in Miracles. And that's why it says that. It is a miracle. I have nothing to do with it. That's what miracle means. I have nothing to do with the healing. I have nothing to do with being the truth of what I am because I am created by God. I have nothing to do with anything. That's why it's a miracles. It's always a miracles. And that's why I more and more am being so grateful and so grateful to see that, to accept that. That's why I say it's everything is okay. God and they say the 12 step. What do they say? Give your life over to God. Is that what they say in the 12 step? Give your life over to God or something like that.
So tell me more. I want to just give you this sentence and see what you do with it if you're willing to. It's in paragraph 5. It says you are both one and at one. So when we talk about miracles and healings, how do you see that sentence? And I don't want to put you on the spot, Monique. So if that
No, it's okay. You what? Paragraph 5 and what's the line?
Paragraph 5 and it's sentence 4. You are
Okay.
both one and at one. And those are italicized. You are both one
Oh, I see.
at one.
Well, the way I see it, what came right now is, and that was my experience, it has to start by me from here. If it doesn't come here, I don't see it outside. Yeah, and it says at the beginning, healer that is not doesn't heal itself, try to heal other people. It had to start here from me. I am the one. Okay, let me read it again. I cannot find it. Just read it for me.
Okay, where are you? From the first paragraph?
From
Or-
what you just read.
Okay. The
Chapter
one more thing that you must learn is merely that you are not the one more. You are both one and at one.
Yes. Both one, and not one. So whatever I see outside of me, it's me. Both means two, at one. So united. United. The reason why I call this cosmological non-dual is because God doesn't know about this world. He doesn't know because he hasn't created this world. We made it up. It's made up by ourselves. And what he created is perfect, and it's still perfect, and it will always be perfect. What God creates cannot be changed. It's God you're talking about. Like for me, in my mind, when I hear the teaching God, what he create, and that's for me, it's the whole cosmological. God created me. I am as God created me. It says that in the course. If I remain as God created me, fear has no meaning, evil is not real, and misery and death do not exist.
Okay, I understand that. I'm gonna just put you on that a little bit more here.
Okay.
Because it says the one more thing that you must learn is merely that you are not the one more. So
That's
everything,
right.
so everything, all of this is either a dream within mind of God, not separate from God, and God knows. Mind, universal consciousness knows exactly what's going on. It knows it's not true. It knows it's dreaming, and it knows it's one with the dream. The part of itself that is projected into the dream doesn't know, but it's still not one more. It's still the one. This is the non-dual teaching. There is nothing separate or unknown to the one mind. There's nothing outside of it. It is all one.
That's right.
Okay.
Rupert Spara, the way he explained it, for me, it's very clear. He used a screen in the movie. So
Yeah.
I am the screen. God is the screen. Okay. And I am the screen. So every movie that comes on the screen, it can be a scary movie, a good movie, a bad movie. The screen doesn't care about what the movie is.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have judgment on it, but
Right.
it allows the movie to be there. It allows the movie to be seen, to be made.
Yeah.
So God allowed, like you said, God allows us to dream, but it's a dream. It's not real.
Okay. Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's the
It's,
same thing.
it
Thank
is.
you.
It's words. Words are tough. I get it. Thank you for sticking with me, Monique. I really appreciate it. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You did a great job.
It's okay. That's why I'm here to learn.
Oh,
I'm here for me, for
oh,
me.
well, we're all here for each other.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. So, Carol, what have you got?
Hi. Well, when we were talking about um, like there's nothing and no one to fix or heal, and how difficult that concept is initially, because that's the conditioning, is to be good to others and help others. And then when you realize, so then if nothing needs to be done, and it's just, that's know thyself. It's like oneness is love. And, as they say, to give is to receive.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. And when people do service or whatever we want to call it, or try to be helpful or make things easier, in honesty, it's not done unless it's experienced as love, as enjoyment. Like, people don't go and do all these things that they hate. Like, you can't. I mean, this body mind is made so that it goes towards what it wants. And when it finds enjoyment or love in serving others, it's really doing that because it's enjoying it. And it may start as the premise of, well, I want to be a help. I want to be, a blessing to others. And it's really the love that it is. It's love being love. And it may seem like, oh, it's giving love to someone that needs it, but it's really giving love to yourself because of the joyful experience that it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no two-ness in it. It's the same thing.
It
So
is.
really,
You're right. It's really hard for us who have been trained from birth to be an ego mind. It's very, very difficult to accept the concept that there's not concept, accept that there is no personal self.
Yeah.
There is no personal self. It's so simple and so direct and so at odds with the way that this level of reality works. And yet that's the only way that we can really understand the concept that you just explained, which is giving is receiving is giving and giving is receiving.
yeah, that doesn't take two. There's no two to tango. It's the
No.
same thing. It's being and learning or recognizing through that there's no difference.
Well, let's go through recognizing that. Thank you, Carol. I want to just take us to paragraph 8. And because this is tangential to what you were just talking about. And I just want us to read paragraph 8 together on page 229. It says decisions cannot be difficult, and it underlines or emphasizes cannot. And that's partly because there's no personal mind making a decision, right? But it doesn't state that up front. But it does tell us that there shouldn't be any difficulty. Like, you shouldn't have to really work to get to this decision. And it says this is obvious if you realize that you must have already made a decision not to be wholly joyous, if that's what you feel. Therefore, the first step in the undoing or the awakening, we could call this the awakening, not the undoing, and waking back up, is to recognize that you have actively decided wrongly. You fell asleep again, and that you can actively decide otherwise. You can wake up again. Be very firm with yourself in this and keep yourself fully aware of the fact that the undoing process does not come from you. So what this is saying is, when I wake up and I say, I feel like crap right now, something's off. It's not the personal mind that wakes up. It's the universal mind that wakes up. I have woken up now that to the dream that I was asleep, and in my sleep I hurt myself. So I've woken up, but I didn't wake up. It's not the personal mind that woke up. It's consciousness that woke up. It's awareness that woke up. It's God's being that woke up. It does not come from you. It's nevertheless within you because God placed it there, because you're always God's being. God didn't place it there in you as a separate person. It's because We are in God's mind, as God's mind, of God's mind, with God's mind. God's mind moves through us as its extension that is fully 100% God's mind. And then it says your part, and now it's speaking to the small mind here, is merely to return your thinking to the point at which the error was made and give it over to the atonement in peace. Now, I want to just say something here because this is A Course in Miracles idea of self-inquiry, right? So your part is to return to the point at which the error was made. When I fell asleep, I realized I thought I was separate. I thought I was in charge of myself. I thought I allowed fear to interpret this situation for me. It's always separation, right? That was when the error was made. And then to just turn it over. I see now that I was out of step with the at-one-ment. So what do? I don't need to do anything with it. There's nothing that the small self needs to do. I let it move through me and I give it back. Right? Oh, it arose in awareness that there's discomfort, that I'm pissed off, that there's sadness, that I think my day has turned out to be not what I wanted. It doesn't matter what the issue is. It could be the smallest aggravation. It arose in my awareness. I immediately see the error, thinking that I'm separate, and now I just recognize the atonement again, and I give it away. I let it move, right? So this is a very simple form of self-inquiry. It's really just awakening. It's just recognizing not at peace here. Awareness is now aware that there was discomfort. And then there's no guilt in that. That's what this sentence says on the last page. I don't feel guilty about about awakening to this belief for a moment that I fell asleep and thought I was separate. I'm not going to hang on to any guilt about it. I don't need to feel guilty. I just turn it over now, and then I take my next figurative step into the next present moment. Am I all right in the present moment now? Yes. Monique. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. The way I have experienced it, and I'm still experiencing it, is I'm almost sorry to say that because it's so hard to understand. It's impossible. It's not that it's hard. It's impossible to understand with the mind. You have to have the experience itself to
Yes.
understand. So the separation has never happened. It's God had never let it happen. I only thought that it happens. It's only a thought.
On the screen, right? It's just
On the
on
screen.
the screen.
So the one that needs to wake up, there's really no need to wake up because there was never any separation. Like, I know it's insane. It's totally insane. It's like, what are we doing here? That's why I left on my bicycle and I asked, why am I here? What is this life? What is those people? What's happening? I don't understand. For 11 months, I asked the same question. Why am I here? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to do here? For 11 months, for, I don't know, 12 hours every day for 11 months, I keep asking because this word didn't make any sense to me. God and this world, it doesn't go together. It didn't make any sense. So, and that's why that that's how I have to say. I don't want to go.
No, I get your point. There isn't anyone to wake up, right? There's no one to wake up. We're always awake. We're never not awake.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it just appears that
yes,
way. Yes.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So Cindy and then Dave.
David can go.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. David, can you
Up my hand. I dropped my hand because I didn't think I had time. But what? And this is one of my crazy theories. So you know how I go. I put I am love, but I put I in parentheses because there is no I. And then the next thing it says, and so are you, but there's no you. You're love too. And I cannot give you love because you are love. And because and since you are love, there was only love. But but until I learn that, that's to me that I'm theorizing that until I really seat that into my psyche, I'll continue to give love as a lesson to learn the theory that I just put out there because and it's really hard for me to understand, but I want to understand that there is no I, there is no you, there is only love, or the awareness of love, which is the same thing. And if I can go through my life or whatever this thing is that we're doing right now, and know that and be that and live that and love that, God, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so that's my story.
Thank you. Thank you. It can be fun if we don't take ourselves seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Cindy.
Feel a little bit like Sandra because I still don't know what I'm going to say.
Well, I will jump in here because we talked earlier today about, and Cindy was the one that brought it up, about who decides, about choice. Who's the decider? Is there ever any choice made? Right? And the last thing says, I will to decide otherwise because I want to be in peace. Who is willing to decide? Whose will is it?
So, thank you. I there's a little bit of tears in my eyes. I'm being very careful, waiting for the words to arise. I believe that we are at this point in our space where we could talk about these things a little too much. Like there seems to be this border where over and over and over the teachings are inviting self-inquiry and experimentation. There, even the Course in Miracles says at some point you got to close the book, right? So whenever I start to feel like we are playing with words a little, and there feels to be like not so much a disagreement, but a feeling like I really, really, really want to make sure everybody understands that the way I'm seeing it is the right way and there's the wrong, then the space in me lights up in this idea, what is this for? And where have I moved from inquiry and surrender into an egoic need to justify my rightness? Um, and I'm hanging out, we talked about it before, in this discomfort, because the line in this conversation is your part is merely to return your thinking to the point at which the error was made. And where I am right now is in the desire to be in the inquiry of where that is, not to assume that I know, because the assumptions are always in the thinking mind. But where, where I said, like, I've been loving this word projector. At what point was this error made? Can I sink back to be in the space of where the error was made, not to let the thinking mind tell me where the error is made, because we all agree the thinking mind doesn't know. So can I use the questioning and the inquiry to literally be in the experiment? Where was this error made? Where was the split? And not use the thinking mind to get the answer, but to stay in the question and see what happens. So I'm falling deeper and deeper into love with inquiry and staying in the question and not being all that interested in the answer, and doing my best to stay in the present moment and not try to figure out what's going on. Because you know what? Cindy has no idea, but she trusts.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thank you for the plug. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Good reminder. Good reminder. So next week we have chapter 6, part 1, the message of the crucifixion. It's a long section, so if you can wade through it, try to. I haven't read it yet myself, so we can all read it and discuss it together. This
Just
is
teach only love, for that is what you are. It's in this section.
teach only love, for that is what
That
you
is what
are.
you are. Yep.
In the message of the crucifixion, it's in there. Oh yeah, there it is. Teach only love. That's the message of the crucifixion. Wow, yeah. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, that'll be a good discussion.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to close us out with our invitation to go out and make a million mistakes and then come back, having learned from them. So come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving. This is not a caravan of despair. It doesn't matter that you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Still come, and yet again. Thank you for being here around the fire. This is not a caravan of despair. I love that. All right, enjoy your evening wherever you are. Thank you. Thanks for your teaching and your sharing. See you next week this time.